Here on the set of NFL Live, Dan Graziano with Jeff Darlington and Rob Ninkovich talking about the AFC East offseason. Which AFC East team most needs to make a move, and what would it be?
Well, there's one team in my mind right now that needs to make probably two moves, and that's figure out the quarterback position. And if they do that, they need receivers. So I'm going the Patriots.
Whoa,
so if they lose the quarterback, then they need both, because they need a quarterback that can throw to a group of receivers. But it's going to be tough to get in maybe a veteran receiver that doesn't have Tom Brady there. So it's going to be very interesting to see this team as they move forward in some of these big decisions that they have to make.
Really important month ahead.
Very.
I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. And I say that because you can't go, essentially, even though they didn't tank per se, they still very much decimated their roster and went into a rebuild mode. And you can't do that you have to start making moves. Like, it's time for them to find the quarterback, whether it's at the top of the draft or somewhere else in the draft or through a free agency, whatever means you got to get the guy in there. Even if Ryan Fitzpatrick starts week 1, you got to have your guy waiting in the wings. You also have to start building out this roster. You've got the draft ammunition and the money. You just can't keep doing this for years and years. So I think the Dolphins really do need to make a move. In a division, by the way, that's getting better. The Bills, a nastier, tougher team. Patriots, you always kind of rely on them, but.
Yeah, if the quarterback's leaving and they have to do that much work, who knows? At some point, somebody else might go ahead and win it. Dolphins with 3 first-round picks in this year's draft. With Jeremy Fowler, I'm Dan Graziano. We have taken over the NFL Live set, and we are discussing the AFC North. Jeremy, which AFC North team most needs to make a move this offseason, and what is it?
The Browns. They need tackle help, okay? They've put too many Band-Aids at left and right tackle. They need to go get a premier guy like Trent Williams. His value will be lower after sitting out the year in Washington. He's disgruntled. He wants a change of scenery. Maybe they can give up a mid-round pick, 3rd or 4th rounder, to get help for Baker Mayfield.
I know they were talking to the Washington about Trent Williams at the trade deadline, but they thought the price was too high. As you mentioned, maybe that price goes down this offseason. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. They have a top pass rusher in Matthew Judon. They either need to get him signed or find a way to replace him. I know they like to replace guys internally there in Baltimore, but this is a team coming off a 14-2 season.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with the NFL Live crew. We got Field Yates, Victor Cruz, Louis Riddick. I'm Diana Rossini with you. We're diving into the AFC South division right now and trying to take a look at which teams really need to dig in during this draft and free agency if they want to improve and perhaps make the postseason. So, Lou, which team are you looking at needs the most work?
Yeah, I'm not going to say they need the most work, but I'm going to say Indianapolis Colts can make a big move, whether it be at quarterback or wide receiver. If they're going to keep Jacoby Brissett and ride with him, they better get him some help. If they're going to go with a new quarterback and they're going to try and get a young player, they're going to still need some wide receiver help. So I think those two positions in particular are going to be in focus for them if they want to take the next jump.
Yeah, for me, it's the Houston Texans and just getting Deshaun Watson some more help on that offensive line. I know the sacks went down from a year ago from 62 to 44, but I still think they need to keep him upright in that pocket and throwing the ball downfield consistently in order for them to be able to take that jump and take that ride to the next phase, because Deshaun Watson is the key for the Houston Texans. When you watch him play, he does everything for them offensively, and their priority is to keep him upright.
How about the Jaguars? Decide what you are. Another regime change, potentially, or at least the top of the front office, right? We've got Tom Coughlin gone. Dave Caldwell stays. Are they going to potentially add some more to the front office there and decide who are they? Are they rebuilding? Are they going to run it back and just expect things to be better compared to where it was last year? A couple of seasons ago, a dominant defense that had them knocking on the Super Bowl's door.
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, they got a bunch of guys whose contracts are looking like eyesores right now on the books. They have to decide, what are they? It's time to clean some things up.
Yeah.
Changes are going to have to happen on that roster this offseason.
Yeah, starting with our quarterback. I mean, what are they going to do with that position? Are they going to go in the draft, free agency, or stick with what they got?
All right, you know it's the offseason. Marcus Spears, Field Yates, Louis Riddick, I'm Wendy Nix. When we start looking at each division and sort of saying holistically, okay, who better do what to compete? Today we'll look at the AFC West, Marcus. Who better do what to make a move?
Chargers better identify their quarterback.
They better do that.
Because they are surrounded with talented offensive players and a defense with Bosa and Ingram over there that are game changers, and Derwin James, generational type guys on defense. They are a QB away. They just shored up Anthony Lynn, told him he's going to be the coach moving forward. It's the Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers need to find a QB, and they could be a Super Bowl contender.
So recently the Chargers moved. Now the Raiders have moved to Las Vegas. I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders, who actually made major strides last year, most specifically through the rookie class. An awesome first year for that draft class of 2019. But they need to continue to build off of this, and we know they're not going to be afraid of swinging big. Last year they swung big on Antonio Brown amongst other pieces. Obviously that played out in the worst way. But they still have the resources and draft capital and the money to spend in free agency to once again be major players and continue to build on the momentum last year, because they can be in the playoffs in 2020 if so.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback. I'm going to say the Raiders as well, and I'm going to be even more specific. They got to get the defense fixed. Okay, they invested a lot in the defense, and they had some players, namely some young players, who really looked pretty good this year. Look, Max Crosby looks spectacular, the pass rush and defensive end. They need more pass rushers. They need some linebackers that can play. And for a team that continues to try and look for corners, they got bludgeoned through the air. Yeah. So defense, they have to get that right, because in AFC West, you can't compete with number 15 from Kansas City. You have no shot. So you better have some defensive players.
And listen, the Raiders owned the first round of the draft last year. They got more right than they did wrong. They do that again this time. They will certainly be moving in the right direction. Catch us every weekday, 1:30 Eastern.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+. We'll see you there.